Okay, in this video, we're going to go through how to reduce the number of polygons that we render on screen using LODs or level of detail or LOD, whatever you want to call it. So LODs are basically where you have a static mesh or a 3D mesh, and dependent on how big it is on screen, you reduce the polygons in that mesh. So you're not rendering it in its highest density because we really don't see that because of the resolution of the screens and things like that. So what we can do is reduce the number of polygons um, depending on how far away the player's camera is from that mesh. So it makes it easier to render out a frame. And if we have a better frame rate, especially with VR, it's going to be a lot better. So this is something that you should do for all your models, okay? Maybe not the ones that you use to block out and you can't do them with BSPs, obviously, but any static mesh that you bring in, I would definitely set this up so that it makes it easier to render. And I would say this is kind of like a requirement for all VR games, especially, but mobile as well. You want to reduce that as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this apple. It doesn't have any LOD set up for it, so we're going to do that, and it's a very, very simple process. So we're going to do that in Unreal to start off with, and then I'll talk about like how you could do it in Maya if you wanted to. So if we go to the Apple Mesh, you can see that it's got an LOD picker, LOD 0, LOD settings, and stuff like that down here. So we've got only one LOD, and it's set up so that it only renders this mesh in its highest density. It doesn't matter where you are. So you can see here, like we've got 1,598 triangles, and it doesn't matter how big or how small this is in the screen size, it stays the same. So to make sure that we can change this, what we could do is go to custom here. And if we go down to the bottom to LOD settings, we're going to choose an LOD group. So this is a really good way of doing this automatically. So we got to think about like, what does this here fall into? Like, is it foliage? Is it like high detail, large prop? I would say it's a small prop, okay? An apple typically is. So if we click on that there, it'll ask us, do you want to change override settings? Just say yes. And now we've got LOD 0, LOD 1, LOD 2, LOD 3. And here we got down in LOD settings, we can change, how many LODs that we want. And if we change this to say 5 and apply, you can see now it should have 5. Yeah, there we go. It's up to 4. Um, and this is done it automatically. You can see now it's reduced the apple size to like 798, so it's almost halved it, or I would say it has halved it from its full density. So up right close, we can see it, it's 1598, okay? So as I move away, that number reduces dramatically. And we can see small changes, okay? It definitely happens. We can see it kind of like flicker in and out of the different LODs. But again, it's so small that as a player, you're probably not going to notice this. And the apple looks as good from here as it does here. It feels like, there isn't much in terms of quality being lost there. You can actually come in here and change the settings as well. So maybe I only want 3 of these. So I've got LOD 0, 1, and 2 now. And for each LOD setting, you can go in and go, right, I want to determine like how much we see um, of the mesh density per LOD. So maybe LOD 0 is going to be 100%, fair enough. But then LOD 1 is reducing it by 50%. And I can up that if I wanted to. I can go, you know what, I want that 68%, let's say, or let's say 70. And then LOD 2, I'm going to reduce to 25. That's a pretty big jump, but we'll see what happens. So 159 and then reduces to 118. And then if we go out 400. So not much of a change. But again, like, at this distance, we're only rendering 25%. So let's up this to like 4 again and apply that. And what we'll do is 25% will go down to like, say, 4 or 5%. Let's say 5. And apply changes. So now if I pull back, you can see it's rendering 80 triangles, okay? And you could go even further with that, as you go away. You could reduce that even further. So definitely do this with all your meshes. You know, it's going to really help with the rendering process and it's going to make things a lot easier for you. The only other way that you can do this here is to develop your own ones. And if we go to custom, we can go to, oh, where is it? Yeah, you can go to LOD import here, so you can import in ones that you've made, you know, from Maya if you wanted to. So I think the Unreal way is better. It's a lot easier, and you can do it really, really quickly as well. Okay.